Hello, my name is Andy, Knight of the Word. I am also a minister of Trinity of Christ Ministries, and we're doing a series of Bible studies, and this particular one is in Genesis 5. So join me and enjoy this video. If you enjoy it, please hit the like button or the share button or the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. And I'm also available for comments. I'll read them later after this is posted and respond to you. Uh, if you want to see more Bible studies, you can go to trinityofchrist.org, where we have several Bible studies currently being recorded. So, why don't you join me and we will deal with Genesis 5. The descendants of Adam. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. The descendants of Adam. This is the list of the descendants of Adam. When God created human beings, he made them like himself. He created them male and female, blessed them, and named them human beings. When Adam was 130 years old, he had a son who was like him and named him Seth. After that, Adam lived another 800 years, and he had other children and died at the age of 930. When Seth was 105, he had a son, Enosh, and then lived for another 807 years. He had other children and died at the age of 912. When Enosh was 90, he had a son, Canaan, and then lived another 815 years. He had other children and died at the age of 905. When Canaan was 70, he had a son, Mahalalel, and then lived another 840 years. He had other children and died at the age of 910. When Mahalalel was 65, he had a son, Jared, and then lived another 830 years. And he had other children and died at the age of 895. When Jared was 162, he had a son, Enoch, and lived another 800 years. He had other children and died at the age of 962. When Enoch was 65, he had a son, Methuselah. After that, Enoch lived in fellowship with God for 300 years and had other children. He lived to be 365 years old. He spent his life in fellowship with God and then disappeared because God took him away. When Methuselah was 187, he had a son, Lamech, and they lived another 782 years. He had other children and died at the age of 969. When Lamech was 182, he had a son and said, "From the very ground on which the Lord put a curse, this child will bring us relief from all our hard work." So we named him Noah. Lamech lived another 595 years. He had other children and died at the age of 777. After Noah was 500 years old, he had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, I always hate doing the ones that are just listing names, but we have some important names in here. Um, you'll notice that they lived long lives back then. And they only mention the firstborn. They say, he, for instance, he had Enosh and then lived another 807 years and had other children. According to the traditions back then, the firstborn inherited all. And so they don't mention the rest of the family. But many, many people were probably born of them in that much time. We have no way of knowing. Don't treat the Old Testament like a history book. It's a rough history book. There's lots of things that we don't know, we haven't been told. Because God wanted us to know the important things. Uh, we know that Enoch played a part, and, Methuselah as well. And there are several stories about them that are out there that talk about their relationship with God. And apparently, Methuselah was very close to God. And so God took him early. And, I'm not sure what it necessarily means by God took him away. Maybe he didn't die, maybe he was risen. Just not sure. But it does seem to be that each new generation, they live less time, less and less time. Um, I've already warned you not to uh, take the book of Genesis completely as a history lesson. It's much more a parable in a sense, and its story is given to us to teach us something. And it's a story that is passed down for generations. It was passed down, in front of the fire, discussing with the next generation. So that they pass down the information from one generation to another generation until we get down to Moses. And Moses wrote all these things down. And I'm sure God had a big part in that writing. And so, uh, Jesus liked to teach with parables. I believe that since Jesus is God, that God also taught with parables. Well, that's all for today. If you want to see more, go to trinityofchrist.org. We have a Bible study page where we have multiple Bible studies available for reading and watching. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and share if you did. Have a good day and God bless.